Good evening. On behalf of the League of Women Voters of the Morris area and our co-sponsors, New Jersey Hills Media and the Morris County branch of the NAACP, I'm pleased to welcome you to our Mendham Township Board of Education Candidates Forum. My name is Barbara Coopersmith. I am a member of the League of Women Voters of the Morris area and have been very involved with voter education, registration, get out the vote, and debate organizing. So that's a little about me, and I live in Morris County, but not in Mendham Township. The LWV is a nonpartisan political organization, and therefore we never support or oppose political parties or candidates. Elections and votings are our core concerns, and empowering voters, defending democracy is our mission. We are committed to providing fact-based information about issues and positions candidates take on those issues to help voters make their own decisions and participate in the electoral process. Membership in the league is open to all ages and gender identities. We welcome volunteers whether or not you are a member. With 100 years of experience, the League is one of America's oldest and most trusted civic nonprofit organizations. I'd like to welcome our co-sponsor for this debate, Pat Robinson of the New Jersey Hills Observer-Tribune, to say a few words.
Oh, thank you, Barb. The Observer-Tribune is one of 12 newspapers that's owned by the New Jersey Hills Media Group. We're formerly known as the Recorder Community Newspapers. That group itself was founded in 1955, and we're currently owned by the nonprofit Corporation for New Jersey Local Media. We work to create engaged and informed communities by revitalizing journalism and innovating for its future. Now more than ever, it's pretty essential to keep residents in the loop with the facts, and that's what we're doing, and that's why we're participating tonight. So thank you for having us.
Thank you. I would now like to introduce Vanessa Brown of the Morris County branch of the NAACP to say a few words.
Thank you for the invitation, League of Women Voters. It's been a pleasure to partner with you often. Could we just take a moment of silence in observance of the 9/11 tragedy that rocked our nation? Thank you. Again, my name is Vanessa Brown. I am the president of the Morris County NAACP branch and the third vice president of the New Jersey State Conference, third vice president. We have a national organization that was founded in 1909 because of lynchings that took place. Everyone was sick and tired of them. White abolitionists, Black authors, they all got together and formed the NAACP. We are a nonpartisan organization. We are the oldest, boldest civil rights organization in the nation. To become a member annually, it's only $30. Again, we are nonpartisan. There are other levels of sponsorship, and we are more or less concerned with your civil rights. We appreciate you taking the time out tonight to speak to the community, to answer some questions. And I commend you on such a wonderful thing, that civic duty that you're doing here. Our students need you. So, good luck to all of you. And thank you so much for your participation.
So thank you also. So we encourage everyone to go to vote411.org. That's a one-stop site for information on all aspects of voting in New Jersey. We ask our candidates to answer questions, which hopefully everybody here has done. We also list all the candidates that are running, whether or not they're contested, and you can check a lot of things if you're registered, whatever, all different things. So, and we also ask you to please visit our website to learn more about the Morris Area League. It's lwvmorrisarea.org. We have a sliding scale for membership, which is new this year. So you can join with an amount as low as $20, or we suggest 75, or if you want to do 100, we take that. So remember to make your vote count and vote in one of three ways this election season. You can vote by mail if you've signed up to do that, and it's not too late to ask to get a vote by mail ballot on paper if you'd like that, especially for college students. There's early in person using a voting machine from Saturday, October 25th through Sunday, November 2nd. No appointments necessary, and you can vote in any of the designated locations in your county. And then, of course, on Tuesday, November 4th, Election Day, you can vote in your local election site. So this debate is being live streamed on the Morris Area LWV YouTube channel and will be available there for viewing afterwards. Other language captions will be available tomorrow on the stream. We encourage the sharing of the League's recording of this event in its entirety, but do not allow editing or making public any excerpts from the recording. The League name, logo, event recording, or any materials from the event cannot be used in a way that can lead a viewer or reader to infer League support of or opposition to a candidacy. So at this time, I'd like to introduce somebody else, Miss Ann Armstrong. Ann is a League trained moderator, and they go through a lot of training to make sure they're nonpartisan and they're doing a good job. And she's not from the voting district, and she will introduce the candidates and outline the format for this evening. Thank you. You're on mute, Ann. Remember, all of you are on mute the first time you start. Sorry.
Thank you and welcome. We have with us this evening 6 candidates vying for 3 seats on the Mendham Township Board of Education. Before introducing the candidates, I will explain the format for today. Each candidate will give a brief opening statement, then submitted questions will be asked of all candidates. Each candidate will be given a set time to answer each question. After all candidates have responded to a question, a rebuttal will be allowed, but not required by each candidate. After the question and answer period, the candidates will each give a brief closing statement. The candidates for Mendham Township Board of Education are Allison Barrett, Diana Orban Brown, Cynthia Brusco, Christina Klossner, Kathleen McCallum, and Elizabeth Tomasi. We will begin with the opening statement of Allison Barrett.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters, our moderators, and everyone here tonight for creating this space to talk about the future of our schools. I'm Allison Barrett. Mendham Township isn't just where I live, it's where I grew up, graduated from our schools, and where my parents still proudly call home. After years living and working in New York and Hong Kong, my husband and I chose to return here to raise our 3 children in the same schools that helped shape me. Back home, I've been a PTO leader, Education Foundation board member, and active community volunteer. My experiences abroad gave me a global perspective, but my heart and focus are here in Mendham Township. I am running because I believe in maintaining our exceptional schools, stewarding smart spending, and bringing leadership that is rooted in the values that make this town a great place for every generation, past, present, and future. Thank you.
Thank you. Diana Orban Brown.
Thank you. I'm going to add, thanks to the League, thanks to the Morris County in New Jersey, NAACP, and to the Observer-Tribune, and also to my fellow candidates who have made this possible. And thank you also, Vanessa, for mentioning September 11th. I am Diana Orban Brown, and I'm completing my first 3 years as an elected member of the Mendham Township Board of Education. I can safely say that I never imagined that I would learn everything about New Jersey education, not everything, but a lot about New Jersey education in 3 short years. I set some goals and I accomplished some of them, and there are more to come. But I am proud and I'm humbled to be part of and to contribute to our excellent K-8 schools. And I look forward to this evening and to being able to present my positions and to hearing, learning, and listening from you.
Thank you. Cynthia Brusco.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you to everybody who is watching on video, and as well as the people that will be watching later on this evening after back to school night, and the ones that couldn't just be here tonight. My name is Cynthia Brusco, and I am a transplant into Mendham. However, my husband grew up in the township, as well as went to the elementary school, the middle school, and the high school. And he comes from a family of servants in the community. His mother was very involved in the first aid squad. His father is very involved in the community as well and still actively serves in the community. And I'm happy to be considered for this position and to be a part of that. As a parent of children in the district, I bring a grounded perspective and a deep understanding of the challenges and opportunities within the school system. With a professional background in mental health, I value collaboration, empathy, and solution-focused thinking, approaching each issue with the mindset of a coach and a team player.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Christina Klausner.
Good evening, and thank you for having me here tonight. My name is Christina Klausner, and I come to you as a mom of 3 children in the school district and someone who has personally experienced the power of educational investment. When I talk about this, I talk about it as an English learner. English is my second language, and I know what it feels like to come from a strong school system. It shaped me to who I am today. Now I see that same spark in my children who come home curious and excited because of what the school has provided for them. That is why I'm here, because investing in education is investing in our children, our community, and our future. It's become really personal for me. What I do bring to the board, and I believe I can bring, is a big picture perspective of adaptability and the ability to learn and listen that I've gained through my professional training as a physical therapist. So I am very proud of Mendham's rich history of excellence, and I look forward to living up to the motto.
Thank you. Kathleen McCallum.
Good evening, and thank you to the LWV and their sponsors. I'm Kathleen McCallum, and I'm running for the Mendham Township Board of Education because every student deserves the support to grow, not just academically, but emotionally too. I am a seasoned PTO board member who's worked side by side our educators and families to create meaningful programs that connect students with resources, opportunities, and real-world inspiration. I have a professional background in big law, finance, and insurance, and I currently serve on the Township's Finance Advisory Committee. All that experience gives me a unique perspective to leverage on behalf of our schools. The schools are one of the many reasons my family and I moved to the town 6 years ago, and I want to build on that legacy with a practical, positive approach that always puts students first. I believe in respectful solutions, focused conversations, and transparent communication that reflects the priorities of our whole community. Trust is built through listening and collaboration, and together we can ensure our schools remain places where every student is seen, supported, and able to thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth Tomasi.
Thank you to the League of Women's Voters, tonight's co-sponsors, my fellow board colleague, Diana Orban-Brown, and all the candidates here this evening. I was appointed to the Mendham Township Board of Education just over a year ago. I'm a New Jersey native and a proud product of our public schools. After college, I spent more than 20 years in Washington, D.C., working first as a clinical social worker and later as a cancer center director, balancing high-quality care, budgets, and staff management. 4 years ago, my family and I moved back to New Jersey, selecting Mendham largely for its exceptional elementary and middle schools. I'm seeking election to the school board to continue our work in enhancing the quality of education for all students. Over the past year, we've made significant progress, strengthening academic excellence, prioritizing the needs of students and educators, managing our budget responsibly, and ensuring our policies reflect the values and priorities of the Mendham Township community.
Thank you. It is now time for the submitted questions. First one is, what is an area you have observed in which the school district succeeds? Is there an area you've observed in which the school district flounders? So kind of like a good and a bad thing about the school district. Diana Orban-Brown, we'll start with you.
There is nothing bad I can say about our school district. It is extraordinary. We have award-winning students, award-winning teachers, very dedicated administrators. And I must say, I don't hear very much, and I'm out in the community quite a lot. I hear very, very little complaints about anything about our schools. I'm not a Pollyanna, but I do know that we have wonderful schools and we work hard at it. And We can always do better. And that is one of the things we strive for, doing better.
Thank you. Christina Klausner?
I also agree with Diana that there's not anything I feel like we're not succeeding in. I believe that our district really follows the motto of every student every day. Personally, I have experienced that as a parent for my child who has a 50, started with an IEP and now has a 504. They saw my child as a whole, and that came from administration. But what I saw was the care and the continuing research that was presented to me by the teachers that were involved with helping my child. And that really made it so personal. The school became family to me. So I believe that the biggest asset of our school is the district's ability to see the whole child.
Thank you. Allison Barrett?
Thank you so much. Our schools are exceptional. Our rankings in the state and nationwide don't come to us by accident. I know how hard people are working to maintain that and how much it means to the community. There's nothing bad about our school system, and that's why I came back here. That's why I choose to raise my children here. There are always areas that we can improve. Just like Diana mentioned, I'm happy to be a part of it. When I speak to the community along this campaign trail, there are certain things that have been brought to my attention. People would love to see the sciences scores strengthened. And of course, the tools that we give our exceptional teachers and administrators can only improve in order to have those scores match all the other scores that we have going through the roof. Thank you.
Elizabeth Tomasi?
Thank you. I think that the first thing is what we do really well is whole child education. And so for me, that means this marriage between the social emotional well-being of our children and the academic excellence, and that sustained academic excellence comes from that marriage. And I think there's been a lot of emphasis on that in recent years. I will say that as a board member, what I'm always impressed by and what helps us move forward is this constant state of monitoring and evaluation, and then taking those evaluations and the data that we get to adapt and enhance what we're doing. So when there are times that we may not be hitting a mark, we're always pushing forward.
Thank you. Cynthia Brusco?
Thank you. I think the one thing I have noticed about the school being successful, speaking to what Liz just spoke about, is the social emotional learning that these children go through, and just seeing it, how my son thrives in the classroom and their morning meetings and being able to connect with each other. They have a phenomenal special education, system, and the kids are included in the classroom. They're always inclusive in every single classroom, and it's supportive and incredibly engaged with those children as well. I don't have enough experience yet to say what's negative about the school, and I hope to get that experience, being on the board and seeing what things can be improved, but I can't speak to anything negative at this point.
Thank you. Kathleen McCallum?
Thank you. Being a seasoned PTO board member, I've heard a lot from parents in the community about what may or may not need to shift. And I take every concern and I look at it from a perspective, what can I do to help and how can I speak to the administration? And that's one of the really great things. The administration is very approachable and very open to a lot of things. One such example is we do have amazing scores, and our schools are really great. That said, there are some situations specific in this situation to math. The math scores are very high, but there were some students that were struggling with that. So as part of the PTO, I piloted, along with the middle school administration, a virtual math lab, which is still in effect today. And it is one of the more praised programs for the after school for the students. And that was done with partnership from the schools. And I really appreciate doing that.
Thank you. Next question. What is your understanding about the role of diversity and inclusion initiatives in public schools? Elizabeth Tomasi, we'll start with you.
Thank you. I'm very proud of the work that the district does with diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. It's been a journey for about 5 years. And our goal is always to create a supportive and nurturing culture where every student feels seen and valued and can thrive. And so on the DEIB committee that the Board of Education has, we are focusing on strategies and best practices. And we understand that an inclusive and equitable school environment is a continuing journey. And so as part of that, we create school district goals each year and Board of Education goals. And diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging are on both sides of that. And we have very measurable goals that we will be focusing on to make sure that that journey continues.
Thank you. Kathleen McCallum.
I think the school and the district overall just does a really good job in terms of bringing diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging into the school. It's done through different programs. It's done through partnership with the PTO, with the cultural arts program. There are several rallies and different programs that are put in place. The children they really enjoy it. It's very interactive, and it allows the students to see different people and different walks of life for different perspectives that they may not see in our township.
Thank you. Allison Barrett.
Thank you. As a graduate of the Mendham schools and now returning, I can see what great strides the town has made in this area. The school system, the community, not only is filled with lots of diverse people from all backgrounds and thought, but it's all embraced so much more beautifully than it was when I was growing up here. Children, I believe, are naturally just born to be colorblind, to invest in other people's stories, and to really welcome people with a naturally warm heart. And as parents, we support that, and the schools really support that. I'm proud of the strides that the town has made in this area, and I only hope that it can continue and get even more warm and diverse.
Thank you. Diana Orban Brown.
I have advocated strongly, with a lot of success, for linking empathy with diversity inclusion. Empathy applies to everything and everyone and the whole child. It is wonderful to see how helpful in the lower grades children are. There's an emotional empathy there. If a fellow student is crying, probably another student will start crying in the lower grades. In the upper grades, it's cognitive empathy. It's really walking in the other person's shoes and understanding, regardless of whether they're a special needs student, whether they are racially diverse, whether they are handicapped in some way, and have accessibility issues, to feel what they feel and to understand and to help and be helpful.
Thank you. Cynthia Brusco. Cynthia? Yeah.
Sorry about that. Speaking about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we need to have mirrors around us. We need to have educators that are going to reflect back what children see about themselves. So if we don't have educators who are of, diverse backgrounds, we are not speaking to the cultures coming into our school. And I think that that is where the role in education, or the Board of Education, we need to be able to focus on, is getting more educators that are from diverse backgrounds. So there are mirrors for our students. If you're coming into a population that is primarily white and you're from a different background, who are you going to see as potentially your mentor and someone that can lead you in the direction of being successful and supported?
Thank you. Christina Klausner.
Hello. So when you go on to the Mendham Township's Board of Education website and the district goals, the first goal on there is about diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. And when I think about goals, I'm a provider that's always producing goals and collaborating with my patients. I can see this collaboration of administration with the staff. And so it is very evident as a parent when teachers are including DEIB into their classroom environments, because my children are then bringing it back home with positive effects. So they're threading it into curriculum, into their everyday environment in the classroom. And it is becoming very clear that the district's goal is being understood and we're working our way towards it. And as a parent, it makes me very happy that we're one step closer to this goal.
Thank you. Next question. What makes each of you completely and uniquely qualified to be elected to the school board? What gaps will you need to close in your knowledge to productively contribute? We're starting with Kathleen McCallum.
I think there's always opportunities for growth and learning. And so I have never sat on a board of education before. So as I sit through meetings, and I've been attending meetings now, I see that there are some things where I may not be well-versed. So I have been doing my homework for certain things, and I plan to continue to do that if I am so lucky to be voted into the role. I do think that understanding what the other members on the board are looking towards their goals, not just for the board goals, but the district goals, and also what the community at large feels. And that includes parents and residents alike, just to understand that. And again, to make sure that I am thinking about it from the perspective of continued growth.
Thank you. Allison Barrett.
I believe amongst everyone, I bring a very unique perspective of multi-generational investment in this community. Not only do I walk the same halls that I walked when I'm with my children, but my parents have decided to remain here as loyal taxpayers of the community. And I've also returned to this town for appreciation from the schools. I know how important the investment is and will continue to be for the future generations, as well as honoring the people that have either graduated out of the district or have chosen to leave the district and are still honored taxpayers. As far as what I hope to learn, if I'm so lucky to join the board and get your vote, I would hope that I would really be able to understand the greater complexities of what's coming down from the federal and state levels and how we're able to navigate that as a district with our local values.
Thank you. Elizabeth Tomasi.
Thank you. Currently, as a board member, I serve on several key committees, including operations and finance and personnel. And my background lends itself, I think, very well to the Board of Ed in terms of my senior management experience, managing multi-million-dollar budgets and having to make fiscally decisive decisions about resource allocation. And also my social work background and understanding, again, that marriage between mental health and well-being and sustained academic achievement. I think that what I love most about the board is that we don't all know everything. And so sitting around on that dais and having really engaged, informed discussions about issues of great importance to our students and teachers and the district is really what makes it such a wonderful experience. And there's always something more to be learned. And to me, that's special.
Thank you. Christina Klausner.
I think my biggest asset that I would bring is ultimately I'm a researcher and I'm a goal setter. My entire career is about setting goals that are not just for individuals, but how do we encompass the community as a whole? So because of this extensive history, I'm able to listen to what the community needs, what the administration needs, and what the students and staff need. And then I will look at it from a perspective of a researcher to make goals that are measurable and also encompassing of everyone's needs. And often we don't have to compromise when you can look at it from all the perspectives. I do think my lack of board experience is going to have to be a large learning curve of understanding the structure and dynamics of when to speak, when to ask for help, and when to contribute to the board's needs. So in the first couple sessions, I hope to really absorb everything that is presented to me, and that's it.
Thank you. Diana Orban Brown.
I think I have a one-of-a-kind experience to bring to the board. I have lived in Mendham Township for 31 years. I chose to live here. And for about 25 of those 31 years, I have been an active volunteer. First, on the municipal level, I was chair of the Open Space Committee. I became a Mendham Township committee woman. I was deputy mayor, and then I was mayor. I was on the finance committee. I'm still on the finance committee. I was on the police and public safety committee. But more than that, I have an interesting educational background too. For various reasons, I've been to a public school, a parochial school, an inner city school, an all-girls high school, and a public university. And I spent 16 years working for Rutgers University, which is probably one of the most diverse and dynamic institutions in New Jersey.
Thank you. Cynthia Brusco.
Anybody interacts with me, they know I'm a worker bee. I will be given a task and I just run with it. And I love being a team player. I love being involved in the process. And I do believe that you have to trust the process at times too. I come from a background of completely different, I think, than anybody here is. I came from a coaching background. I was a Division I swim coach, followed by a Division III swim coach. I spent a lot of time working at universities and understanding how administrations work in the athletic department. So had a lot of experience on that end. I've worked with kids my whole life, working as a swim coach on a YMCA level. And I just enjoy the community. I really enjoy helping and, being part of something. I'm part of the stigma-free committee with Liz, and I just enjoy engaging. So I think that I bring that. My gaps might be, I just don't know the board at this point.
Thank you. Next question. How important do you believe it is for the school board to maintain a strong connection with the community? And what steps would you take to ensure Mendham Township taxpayers have a meaningful voice in board decisions? Cynthia Brusco, we're beginning with you this time.
Can you repeat that question? Thank you.
It's long. How important do you believe it is for the school board to maintain a strong connection with the community? And what steps would you take to ensure Mendham Township taxpayers have a meaningful voice in board decisions?
So I think that there are two answers to that. One is go to the school board meetings, see what's going on, get a sense of what the board is actually doing to understand where your tax dollars are going, and ask questions when you need to. I was able to ask Sal a very important question for my husband recently, and I was really surprised by the answer. And they're transparent there, and to be able to know what questions to ask is also the second piece to my answer. Sometimes we don't know what is going on, but we're not asking the right questions. We're not engaging and being able to find the paths to ask people. So I would like to be that transparency for the community in finding out the answers when people ask those questions.
Thank you. Diana Orban Brown.
That's a wonderful question, because that is where I come from. I think that there is very good rapport between the community, between the administration of the schools and the administration of the town. And I believe that there is a lot more that could be done. I have encouraged people to attend our board meetings. I know it's difficult. We're all time crunched, but they are live streamed, and I am going to advocate this year that they go on Zoom, so there's two-way communication to make it easier for people to give our input. I have strongly, and I started going to school board meetings in 1994, which is when I moved here, and I hadn't stopped. And I've been going to them up to the time that I ran for school board, and I think people will get a great deal out of the schools if they do participate, and I do encourage it.
Thank you. Kathleen McCallum.
Thank you. I think that when it comes to the relationship between the township and the schools, it seems like it's a really good relationship, because I see, even in terms of the shared services and the shared opportunities, it's been very good to see, in the sense that, for example, the Mendham Township Committee utilized the schools for a while for their meetings. And the same way, the Township Committee is now allowing the district to utilize some public space from the municipality. And I think that, to Diana's point, coming to meetings are super important, because that's exactly what will allow folks, and by folks I mean taxpayers, to understand what is happening and how to be more involved.
Thank you. Elizabeth Tomasi.
Thank you. Community partnerships are really part and parcel to running a school district. And I think we do that, and everybody said this, we do this very well. Our shared services has brought fiscal, we've been able to really, I think they've brought some fiscal responsibility, and we've had the ability to also create partnerships with the Mendham Township Education Foundation and with the Mendham's Stigma-Free Task Force. So you've got fiscal responsibility and cutting costs there with shared services, and also with the mental health and well-being. And so I think the transparency is also a key principle in running a district. And so attending meetings, coming on the live streams, even if you can't do that, reading the minutes is also something we should be doing as a community.
Thank you. Christina Klausner.
So once you elect a Board of Education member, I don't think our job should stop there and just attend meetings. We're all putting in so much effort to get to know our community at the moment. And what I learned from someone that I spoke to yesterday was that he was so happy a person came up to him and asked him what he was looking for in the Board of Education. There are many opportunities for us as board members to also be involved in social gatherings. We had a clam bake, we have library events, we have community events in which we can still show up as ourselves and not as board members in that moment, maybe as parents, maybe as friends. But we can still open a dialogue and to understand what the needs of the community are instead of only just asking them to show up for us. So I think the efforts as a board member can go beyond the board meetings.
Thank you. Allison Barrett.
Thank you. I'd say everybody in this town lives here because they're proud of their schools, our schools. The schools belong to the whole community, not just parents that currently have students in their system. I would really advocate, for maybe clear communication channels beyond what we already have. I feel like collectively as a community, we could only be stronger, and the more input we receive would really contribute to that strength. Open forums, more public surveys, providing the public with more regular updates, just so residents can weigh in on decisions that affect, education quality and the tax dollars. When people feel heard, they trust the process. And I really just think there's always areas to improve, especially with getting better at communication.
Thank you. Next question. What is your perspective on integrating artificial intelligence into the classroom? How do you see it impacting learning outcomes for Mendham Township K-8 students? Christina Klausner, we'll begin with you.
I am a fan of AI because it is our future. If we put in policies or guidelines or parameters, AI can be the most useful tool. It doesn't mean creativity needs to be decreased. It just means that it is helpful for many different learners. This is the benefit that I've seen. It is able to put creative ideas into clear thoughts and are able to communicate is one of the examples. And if we show students and staff and administrators that this is a learning curve and let's put in some guidelines, it could be a beautiful tool that will allow us to advance our education system.
Thank you. Cynthia Brusco.
In the therapy world, we just started having AI as a option, to start writing our notes, which is, kind of shocking, and it's an adjustment, but I can see the value in it, in the fact that it allows us to maybe think outside of the box and be able to, use our critical thinking in a different way. And I think that there's value to it for children. But as you've heard from some of the other candidates, there has to be some guidelines and guardrails for that to make sure it is used appropriately and not used all the time. It has to be integrated into the school in a way that is productive, I think.
Thank you. Elizabeth Tomasi.
Thank you. As Diana, I'm sure will attest, AI, the use of AI has been a hot topic on the Board of Education this year. And I think with any new technology, there's this unknown and worry about how we can apply it. Is it safe? Is it an effective tool? And so what I think that the district has done really well at is, particularly at the middle school, we've got administrators who understand AI, and so they've begun applying it in the classroom in a practical sense through studying and using it for writing assistance, one-on-one study sessions with teachers. And the middle school also participated in a university study to understand how districts are using generative AI, gathering that data, and then the most important piece of gathering the data is then distilling it and understanding how we can continue to use it, understand it better, and apply it safely.
Thank you. Allison Barrett.
Thanks so much. Artificial intelligence is already shaping the world our children are going to inherit. So Mendham Township really couldn't afford to fall behind as long as we want to keep our schools strong. We should embrace AI as a tool to enhance learning. Helping teachers personalize their instruction is an amazing tool. It can provide streamlining tasks, exposing students to, cutting edge technology like this helps shape their future. But embracing AI, like my counterparts here said, goes hand in hand with strong safeguards, clear policies, and digital literacy education, so that innovation never comes at the expense of our children's safety. My goal really would be, I guess, to keep the teachers teaching, protecting the children online, and making sure the Mendham students are prepared for the tech-driven world ahead of them.
Thank you. Diana Orban Brown.
Artificial intelligence keeps me up at night. It really concerns me. It's a tsunami that has hit us all in every aspect of our life, not just in the schools. I do believe our teachers and our administrators are looking very carefully at it as a tool to enhance our children's educations. What concerns me is, will it have any effect on creativity or on the innate sense that children have of learning and experimenting? I hope not. If I want to calm down about AI, I think about the internet. I mean, what, 30, 40 years ago, all of a sudden it was the current tsunami, and we didn't know what to expect, and it's turned out pretty well. It has its flaws and it has its serious problems, but all in all, it has made us a much smarter community, a much smarter individual. So I have confidence that we will be able to employ this tool well.
Thank you. Kathleen McCallum.
Thank you. Like many of the other candidates said here, AI is a tool, and it's a tool that's being utilized across the board. So it's being used in corporate America, it's being used in colleges, it's being used at our local high school. And so it only makes sense for our schools at the middle school and elementary levels to also utilize it by exposing the children to it, or exposing them to this new age technology. And with the current parameters that are in place, it's allowing them to understand it and to use it in a way that's practical for them and for their everyday use, so that they're prepared for the future ahead of them.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Should the district's suspension policy be updated to allow the Board of Education involvement before the appeal policy? Allison Barrett, that's up to you first. If anyone needs an explanation about this one, it's kind of what I was told is when a student gets suspended, the board doesn't know about it. And then the parents have to appeal what happened, and that's when you find out about it. And the question is, should you get involved before? Okay, Allison, sorry.
That's okay. That's what I thought it was about. So I just thank you for clarifying. Luckily, I haven't been on the receiving end of a suspension, but never say never. I would like to say that the Board of Education is really a very large ship. In my opinion, there is an enormous amount of responsibility given to the board members, and I appreciate that. I would say that I have to give respect to the administrators and the teachers to work with the day-to-day of what's happening with our students, and of course involving the parents in those discussions to make sure the best interest of the children is being weighed and also being considered. The students are at the disposal of the administrators and the teachers every day. And I would feel uncomfortable about intervening as long as I was sure that the staff and administrators were following the guidelines that were given to them.
Thank you. Cynthia Brusco?
I think I would compare this to, say, the board that does licensing for therapy, and all of us as professional counselors, there's a board that they're not involved in maybe suspending a person from providing therapy until that grievance is filed with them. So there are things that happen on the level of engagement in the community of providing services to clients, And when it gets to a point where that grievance is high enough, then it goes to the board and they make that decision. So I feel like it would be the same with a school board, that you would allow your administrators to handle the situation, and then it gets brought to the board after it happens to be able to make that decision of what has to happen next.
Thank you. Christina Klausner.
This is a challenging question in the sense that suspensions are very individual, and I believe that based on when the suspension has happened, I think parents should have the ability to ask the board to review why the suspension has been made. And maybe not all parents will want that, because I just see it as a trickle down effect. Are we waiting for it to become a problem, or are we waiting for an appeal to come around? I do think that the board should be made aware of suspensions. I don't suspect that they happen often. And I know it's one more thing to add on a plate, but I believe that you can really kind of nip it in the butt, the after effect and the aftershock of what a suspension does to a child, and understanding what it does to a family and what it does to a school district. I don't think there's any harm in allowing parents the option to present their case or not.
Okay. Diana Orban Brown.
The schools have a great deal of information on the code of conduct, on policies and regulations that will, when violated, will result in a suspension. And there's also the principle of chain of command. And we don't talk about it very often. It hasn't come up in this conversation. But the way it works is, if you have a child who has been suspended or punished in any way, a detention, whatever, your way of handling it is to go to the teacher first. If that doesn't give you a satisfactory answer, to go to the administration of the schools, the principal, and then to the superintendent. And then this is the procedure. Come to the school board if you still haven't gotten satisfaction. And that's the way it has to be, because I don't think most parents would want to have every suspension, detention, or admonition come to the school board and made a bigger deal than it really is.
Thank you. Kathleen McCallum.
I think when it comes to a suspension, I do trust the administration. I've worked with them and I know them pretty well, and they have a great deal of experience. So while I understand there may be a need to have an alternate party there, I don't think that it's necessary at the point of the initial suspension. The other thing too is bringing the child's mental health into it. The more people that know about what's going on with the child, the more so it may be problematic for the child. Because although we are people of the community, it's probably not comfortable for parents and students to come in front of more people to speak about intricacies of whatever may have caused the potential for the detention, or the suspension rather. Thank you.
Elizabeth Tomasi.
Thank you. The Board of Education has really, our role is to provide high-level oversight over the district. And so it would be inappropriate, I think, to start with bringing suspensions to the board without utilizing a chain of command. And to Kathleen's point, we do need to, it is our mission for every student every day. And so we need to protect the privacy and dignity of each child. And so utilizing the code of conduct policy, which clearly outlines the chain of command, is really the way we need to go.
Okay, thank you. Due to timing, this will be our last question for this evening. Then we'll have the closing statements. So the last question is, what additional efforts can the Board of Education make so that more families choose public over private schools? Diana Orban Brown first.
Our public schools are the best deal any student and any parent has at its disposal. Now, I certainly understand that there are parents who, for whatever reasons, religious, because of special interests on the part of their students, perhaps music or athletics, would want to send a child to a private school. But I can't see any reason that you would choose, just on a general basis, not to take advantage of these excellent schools, these award-winning schools, national blue ribbon schools. You can't do any better than that. And I come to this with the background of having been in private schools, inner city schools, all girls schools, and public universities. And I think, like I said, it's a very good deal, and it will make our students successful. That's what we live for. Every student, every day.
Thank you. Christina Klausner. You're next.
I've heard many residents move to this town because of the school system. And so I assume that they will like to keep their children in the school system unless their child needs something extra that the school is not able to provide. And I believe that the school continues to try to provide for every child. And it's just the school itself is just warm and has great overall excellence. And I don't think our student population is not made of the current community that we are in. So I don't see ways to improve the numbers, because our numbers are continually going up, with going from 700 during COVID to 800, over 820 students currently. So I think the reputation really supersedes the motto every single day.
Allison Barrett.
I came back to Mendham to raise my children here because I believe in our public schools. Like Diana said, there can be a number of reasons why people either choose to leave the district or go to a private school setting. So I'm not going to discount making those choices based on your own child. I respect those choices, but I really, truly believe the best investment of our resources is in keeping our public schools strong. So every family can see it as their first choice. When we retain our great teachers, offer exceptional academics, and manage our budgets responsibly, we not only serve our student body, but we, protect all the people in the community. My focus would really just be on keeping the schools amazing, so people don't have to make the difficult choice of leaving if it isn't based on their own intention.
Okay. Elizabeth Tomasi.
Thank you. The answer to this is obviously multifactorial, including exceptional teachers and the retention of our exceptional teachers. But it's interesting to me. We moved back here 4 years ago, and we've seen the enrollment continue to grow. And so that tells me that people want to live here. They want to send their children to our public schools. And so it's our responsibility to answer that call. And as we welcome more children into the district, we're going to have diverse learners. And so the expansion of programs to meet the needs of every student, regardless of how they learn, is also incumbent on us. There's a financial impact on us when we have to send children outside of the district. And there's also the reality that if we can expand these programs like our special education, we can provide the level of education that we know Mendham Township can offer.
Thank you. Cynthia Brusco.
I think the choice between a private school and a public school is a very personal decision. And there are, like Liz had said, many facets to that. I came from a public school and then ended up going to a private boarding school for high school. It was a personal choice. It was something that I truly loved. And I did it because the school district I grew up in wasn't great, but I don't think people make that decision in Mendham because our schools aren't great. Our schools are phenomenal. And I think that there are opportunities for kids to be able to go play a sport at a private school that gives them a, you know, maybe a leg up in going to a school that they want to for college. And, you know, some people also may want their kids in Catholic school or, you know, another private school because maybe they went there or they feel very strongly in religion. So I think it's a personal choice that the board really can't get involved in that.
Thank you. Kathleen McCallum?
Thank you. Well, I do agree that it is a personal choice whether your child goes to public or private schools. I do think that our Mendham Township schools are the pride of our community. That's why I think that engaging with the community and understanding what potential issues do potential parents have with the schools, or what's happening that they may need us to think about. And that'll make us better as a board, that'll make the district better, and that'll help us understand where we have those gaps that we talked about earlier. I do think that our schools are excellent and that they try in every facet to make things work for every student every day. And so I just think approachability and engagement is probably the best way to go to continue to keep the enrollment high at the township schools.
Okay, thank you all. Now to the closing statements, but I'd like to thank those residents that submitted questions. More questions were submitted than we had time to include due to our limited available time frame. An attempt was made to consolidate questions wherever possible. We will now have the candidates' closing statements, beginning with Elizabeth Tomasi.
Thank you again to the League and to my fellow candidates tonight. I believe I bring a unique skill set to the Board of Education. As director of the Johns Hopkins Cancer Center, I was responsible for managing multi-million-dollar budgets during turbulent economic times, most notably during the pandemic. Despite these challenges, I never wavered from my sacred duty to communicate honestly and deliver superior care to our patients, caregivers, and families. I've applied these principles of discipline, honest communication, and care for others to my board service. We've balanced the budget in the face of increased costs and a reduction in state aid while preserving all existing staff. We expanded critical programs necessary to meet the needs of every student and maintained our best in state rating. Whether it was caring for a patient or today ensuring our children receive the superior education they deserve, you can trust me to make the right decision. I respectfully ask for your vote at ballot position number 3. Thank you.
Thank you. Kathleen McCallum.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us tonight. And thank you to the League of Women Voters for creating a space where candidates can come together for thoughtful discussion. I'm deeply proud to call Mendham Township my home. Over the years, whether volunteering in classrooms, leading PTO initiatives, or working alongside teachers and administrators, I've seen firsthand the incredible dedication and heart in our schools. Those experiences have given me the tools and perspective to serve effectively on the Board of Education. But what drives me the most isn't just that. It's a belief that every child in our district should feel supported, challenged, and valued. I want our schools to remain places where students not only learn, but thrive emotionally and socially, and where teachers feel trusted and respected. I will listen, I will collaborate, and I will always put students first. If you entrust me with your vote, I'll work hard to honor that trust and continue strengthening the schools that make our community so special. Thank you again.
Thank you. Christina Klausner.
Thank you so much to the League of Women Voters and all of you other candidates. I know this has been a bit nerve-wracking for me, and I'm sure for you guys too. And it's really amazing that all of us have stepped up because we're all motivated and passionate. I think the overall theme is, one, keeping the district of every student every day, but also Mendham's rich history of excellence. It would be a privilege to witness firsthand the dedication of all board members and in maintaining that strength. And I would love to have your vote on November 4th. I'm ballot vote number 1, and I really look forward to collaborating and using my many hats as a therapist, as a business owner, as a mother, as an advocate, and someone who's really motivated to continue to see our trajectory keep going.
Cynthia Brusco.
Thank you for this evening from the League of Women Voters, as well as all the candidates tonight and those that are watching en route to anywhere you're going tonight or just sitting down for the rest of the evening. I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed being able to engage with others. And again, speaking to that team player aspect, I've taken all of the comments and answers tonight, and I've actually been thinking about what you have all said. I think it's really important to be, community oriented and have the ability to engage with others and to be able to collaborate. And that's why I'm seeking a spot on the board and hope to have your vote. I want to be part of the community in terms of what we can do for our children. And I love just being engaged.
Diana Orban Brown.
We've covered a lot of territory tonight, and we all agree that we're here to help our students achieve the success they deserve, every student, every day. I'm going to take a little different tack on my closing statement. I encourage everyone watching this forum and your neighbors and anyone else you talk to vote for your school board choices. On the ballot, we're down in the nonpartisan corner, and sometimes people overlook, while they're voting for the top line candidates, they overlook us. So please take the time to vote. Take the time to find out more about us. If you have questions, come to board meetings and listen in to what is being said. Look at the agendas. They're posted in advance on the website of the school board, and it's mendhamtwp.org. It would be an honor to be elected, but mainly it takes your votes, and I appreciate my fellow candidates, and I appreciate everyone who is watching tonight.
Thank you. Allison Barrett.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Diana, because I don't believe that there could be any greater responsibility than investing in our children with a vote for the Board of Education. Also, thank you to the League of Women's Voters and our moderators and everyone else watching from home. Mendham Township has given so much to my family, first to my parents who built their lives here and still proudly call this community home, then to me as a student, and now to my 3 children. Walking them into the same schools I attended, really reminds me on why it's important to give back and to ensure these schools remain a source of pride for all of the generations. With deep local roots and years of community involvement and a commitment to thoughtful, responsible leadership, I want to ensure our schools remain exceptional, our spending stays smart, and our decisions really reflect the values of all the Mendham residents, past, present, and future. I'd be honored to earn your trust, your support, and your vote in November to help partner with the Board of Ed for Mendham Township. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'd like to thank the candidates for their participation today, for deciding to serve the Mendham Township school community. Thanks to those members of the community who submitted questions. Voting is your right and your responsibility, and this is how we make democracy work. On behalf of the Morris Area League of Women Voters, the Morris County branch of the NAACP, and the New Jersey Hills Media Group Observer-Tribune, I hope you found this event an informative one. This forum was live streamed and is available for viewing on the Morris Area League of Women Voters YouTube channel. Thank you.